Hello, have you ever heard of the legend of the Curupira? He is known as a guardian of the forests. His mission is to protect nature from reckless exploitation, severely punishing those who disrespect environmental balance. The Curupira is described as cunning and just, being both feared and respected. His appearance is depicted as that of a boy or young man, but with supernatural features, such as flaming hair and backward-facing feet. Many people say that his backward-facing feet are a clever trick to confuse and deceive those who invade the forest. But after all, at what moment does the Curupira actually reveal himself to people? And what drives him to take such action? These are the questions we will explore and unravel in this video. In the heart of Brazil's tropical forests, where the winds whisper ancient secrets among towering trees, lives one of the most mysterious and fascinating figures in national folklore, the Curupira, the tireless protector of nature. This guardian, who both haunts and captivates, is known for his unique appearance and supernatural powers, but also for carrying a warning. The forest does not forgive those who try to destroy it. The story of the Curupira dates back to the time of the indigenous peoples, who lived in perfect harmony with nature and believed that every part of the forest was inhabited by powerful spirits. According to legend, the Curupira has a humanoid body, but his peculiar appearance is what stands out the most. His hair resembles living flames, glowing like fire in the darkness of the jungle, and his feet are turned backward. But why is that? This curious feature is a clever trick used to confuse intruders in the forest. As he walks, he leaves footprints that mislead hunters and loggers in the opposite direction, deceiving those who dare to challenge the sacred balance of the environment. The Curupira is not just a frightening figure, he is a vigilant protector. His mission is clear: to safeguard the animals and trees from human greed. It is said that he severely punishes those who hunt for sport or cut down trees without necessity. He shows no mercy to those who exploit natural resources irresponsibly, and his punishments are as terrifying as his appearance. Many believe that if someone becomes the target of his wrath, they will be lost forever in the forest, wandering aimlessly, hypnotized by his supernatural whistles that echo like an irresistible call. Reports of encounters with the Curupira are countless, and each story carries an air of mystery. Imagine a hunter entering the forest at dawn, believing that the jungle is merely a place to be exploited. He follows trails that seem clear, but as night falls, he realizes he has been walking in circles. Suddenly, he hears a distant whistle, almost like a melody, yet it instinctively sends shivers down his spine. As he tries to follow the sound, he finds himself more lost than ever, with the environment around him shifting in a disturbingly rapid way. The Curupira's steps, with his backward-facing feet, create footprints that lead in opposite directions, leaving the intruder with no chance of escape. This is how he protects his home, with cunning, intelligence, and a touch of terror. However, the Curupira is not seen as a villain. On the contrary, he is considered an environmental hero long before that concept even existed. His figure represents the sacred connection between humans and nature, a reminder that the forest is not just a place, but a living organism that breathes, feels, and must be respected. The indigenous peoples, by passing down this legend from generation to generation, left a clear message: the forest is a collective treasure, and the Curupira is there to ensure that it continues to exist for future generations. And if we stop to think about it, the legend of the Curupira is more than just a folkloric tale. It is a reflection of ancestral wisdom. The indigenous peoples who created and passed down this story understood that the forest was more than just a physical space. It is a living, rich, and sacred entity, full of mysteries that modern science has yet to fully unravel. The figure of the Curupira, therefore, is not just a protector, but also a manifestation of the respect and devotion these people felt for nature. He is the cry of the forest in defense of itself, a personification of the invisible force that guards the natural balance. This legend also raises an interesting point about how we perceive the natural world and what happens when we break that connection. In many stories, the Curupira only appears when there is abuse. It is almost as if he is a reflection of human behavior itself. He only manifests when harmony is broken, when respect for the forest is replaced by greed. This makes us reflect, is the Curupira real in a physical sense, or does he represent the inevitable consequences of our actions against nature? After all, in times of climate change, environmental disasters, and ecological collapse, we can feel his wrath in a very real, albeit symbolic way. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Curupira is his duality. He is neither purely a hero nor a villain, he is just. There are accounts of people who have received the Curupira's help because they acted correctly and respectfully toward nature. For example, it is said that he protects those who get lost in the forest by accident, guiding them back home with his magical whistles. But at the same time, he is ruthless toward those who act with ill intentions. This duality makes him even more intriguing, as he is not just a terrifying figure that punishes, but a spirit that rewards good and condemns evil. He is, essentially, the balance that the modern world so desperately lacks. Another striking element is how the Curupira is a universal symbol, despite being deeply Brazilian. Although his story is unique and rooted in national folklore, it connects with legends from other cultures around the world that also speak of guardian spirits of nature. From the Kodama of Japanese forests to the protective elves of European legends, there is a common message. Nature must be protected, and those who fail to respect it will pay a high price. The Curupira, with his imposing presence and clear mission, is Brazil's voice within this global chorus. And how can this legend be used today? Well, it has the potential to be much more than just a story told around campfires. The Curupira could be a central figure in environmental awareness campaigns, especially for children and young people. Imagine using the narrative of the forest guardian in schools, museums, or even in the media to teach respect for the environment in a creative and culturally relevant way. The Curupira has the power to inspire people to see the forest differently, not as a resource, but as a shared home, full of life, magic, and immeasurable value. However, the strength of this legend lies not only in what it can teach, but also in what it can awaken. The Curupira is not just a distant guardian, he is part of our cultural identity. He reminds us that Brazil's forests, like the Amazon, are not just the lungs of the world or a source of wealth. They are part of our collective soul, a treasure that carries stories, culture, and a legacy that we must preserve. By telling his story, we are also preserving a piece of who we are, as a people and as a nation. So, the next time you hear the wind whispering through the trees or the sound of a whistle coming from the forest, maybe it's worth stopping to reflect. Could it be the Curupira? Is he watching, waiting to see how you treat the environment around you? Perhaps he is there, silent but ever-present, reminding us that the forest is alive and that our actions have consequences. The legend of the Curupira is not just a story to scare or entertain. It is an invitation to act, respect, and protect what is most precious. After all, as the old saying goes, those who do not respect the forest will sooner or later meet the Curupira.